What's up, guys? It's Cool2000 with a brand new video. In today's video, I am here just talking about why calculus is stupid. You could determine that from the thumbnail, but basically school has started back up for me. My school doesn't start up until after Labor Day. I'm pretty sure most schools in my area don't, but regardless, it's started back up, and now I have calculus. We have a block schedule in my school, which basically means that we have a day 1 and a day 2. Day 1, you have your first 4 classes. Day 2, you have your second 4. It's okay. I mean, it makes it so you don't have to do your homework as much, but it also gives you more because the classes are longer since there's more time devoted to each class since it's split over 2 days. Anyway, long story short, this is my schedule, and you'll see that everything looks not all that bad until you realize that I have 5 college classes. If you can't see them right away, I'll give you a little bit of help. Excuse semester 1, that's just a free period. Basically, all that means is I get to do whatever I want. I can even leave campus. It's completely set in the rulebook that I can leave campus. I also kind of find it funny that the course ID is 404 to start with. Just like, error 404 not found. It's like you can't find your class because it doesn't exist. Anyway, that was kind of stupid, but the thing you have to realize about this, I didn't want 2 free periods because that means it sets me behind, and technically, if I got rid of one of those, I would have enough credits where it's entirely possible I could graduate senior year doing only 1 semester. I could graduate early, and that is ultimately my goal. So replace one of those excused periods with Spanish 4. It's the second one. That is when you get to realize that I have 5 college level classes. The only 2 that aren't are U.S. History and Intro to Programming and Coding. U.S. History, the only reason that's not AP U.S. History is because I didn't want to kill myself, and I am a terrible history person. Like, I suck at it. I find it so boring. No way I was taking a college-level history class. And Intro to Programming and Coding, it's an intro class. It's not going to be college level. But Calculus, AP Chem, APLAC, which is AP Language and Composition, Spanish 4, and Law Enforcement, all of those are college level. And it is stupid, the course load that I have. My day 2s, all 4 of them are college level classes, and it is so bad. But today's video is about calculus. So that's the only college level class I have in my day 1. And this was an assignment we had. It was an in-class assignment. We were basically just supposed to figure out the meanings behind this graph. Let me read you the paragraph below this. I'm not going to show it on the screen because, otherwise you're looking at a math problem. It's not going to be all that interesting. So, a graph of the aquarium's water level in inches, that's the y value. For those of you who haven't done school in a while, that's the vertical axis in the graph. So that's the, up and down. As a function of time in minutes, that's the x value, which is horizontal, left and right, is shown. When the faucet is on, the water level increases at a steady rate. Similarly, when the plug is pulled out, the water level falls at a steady rate, but slower than the faucet. At various times, some events will happen that affect the water level and or the rate at which the water level changes. In the exercises below, you are to identify at exactly what time the given event occurred. Do not give an interval of time. So we have to say the starting point for when something happens. And this is where calculus gets stupid. You've seen that stereotypical problem that's like, oh, this guy goes to the store and he buys 45 oranges and 35 watermelons. Who actually would do that? But everyone knows that that's stupid. But from the beginning of this, you might not initially think that this is stupid. But then you realize what is going on in a linear sense. And what would be going through someone's mind to do this? This is the most stupid thing I've seen basically ever, because the watermelons, fruit, whatever, just like a crap ton of something that no one's ever going to have that much. It's clearly absurd. But this one is tricky. It doesn't look like it's absurd, but it is. Let's walk through it. At x equals 0, right at the very beginning of the graph where the 2 points meet. That is where someone turns the faucet on. They just bought their new aquarium. It's all well and good. They brought some friends over. They're like, hey, let's fill up this aquarium. So they start to fill it up, And then about a minute in, the faucet like sprays some water or something, the plug gets shot out, and it's not filling up as fast. However, the faucet pours in water faster than it can drain it. Who knows what's going on at this point because they're not watching it, otherwise they'd put the plug back in, but basically the plug gets taken out and no one's watching it to pay attention and put the plug back in. So who knows, maybe they're off doing some ecstasy or something, who knows, they're having a party. Someone notices that it's not filling up all that much, so they dump an entire bucket of water in. That's the giant gap you see there. It's just someone dumping an entire bucket of water into this aquarium. And then it keeps filling up, but it's still draining. So unless they had this in a sink, it's just like pouring water all over their floor. I don't know how no one has noticed this yet, but then eventually, at 6 minutes in, someone finally realizes that the plug is not in, so they put it in. And then they go about their business for another minute. 7 minutes in, the guy's like, oh hey, my aquarium's almost full, might as well stop the faucet. Stops at 8 inches. That's all well and good. That's where someone would leave it off. Right there at 6 minutes, 8 inches across. That's well and good. That's where someone would normally put fish in. But no, these guys come back 4 minutes later, and who knows what kind of stuff they're doing, but someone grabs a really big rock out of the bottom of the thing, and it drains an entire inch. So that rock must have been like really big in order to drain an entire inch of water from this aquarium. Either it's a really big rock or a really small aquarium. One of the two. But anyway, this thing goes on for another few minutes till it gets to 13 minutes. Then someone like throws the rock back at it or something. Something happens, I don't even know, but the plug comes undone again and it starts draining. Now, I don't know what these guys are thinking at this point. Maybe someone bumps the faucet, I don't know. But at 14 minutes, it starts filling up. Someone turns the faucet back on. Because why not? And then the faucet gets turned off 1 minute later because someone realized it was on. But it's still draining water all over their counter, all over their floor. And no one notices this. It literally loses 5 inches. Not to mention everything the faucet was putting in. So that's all well and good. And then someone finally realizes that this thing's been draining for a bunch, so they put the plug back in. Then the rock gets put in, but you guys can't see that because the last part of this equation says now assume that the rock is placed back in the aquarium at t equals 20 minutes and the faucet is turned back on at the same time. Suppose that the aquarium is 12 inches deep. When will it overflow? So at this point, these guys put the rock back in a couple minutes after they realized that the plug had been out for a while. And they're like, you know what? Our floor is already wet as is. Let's get it some more wet and completely fill the aquarium. What? I swear, whatever these guys were doing at this party, they got completely just... They must have been smoking something because... Or maybe they were having a kegger, I don't even know, but whatever was going on, these guys definitely were not thinking straight. Because this makes absolutely no sense. And now I have to deal with this for an entire extra school year. This was the first day.